I'm named after my dad, and my dad was the greatest dad ever. He had zero interest in sports. I never talked sports with him. I never watched sports with him. I never played sports with him, but I let him down. I let him down because I was 23 when we had our first child, Adam, who was here yesterday, lived up the street. And my dad, I'm the third, and my dad wanted a fourth. And I was not old enough. I was not mature enough to want to burden one of our children with my name. Oh. And then the other time was when the end of the line for my dad, and I was running the show there for everybody and everything because we just lived 10 minutes away from my parents' home. And my dad was in and out of the hospital a lot at the very end. He was 83 years old. And he kept telling me, Bill, I don't want to die in the hospital. I don't want to die in the hospital. And so we were always calling 911. They were all our friends. It all grew up a very close community where I come from. And so the paramedics were always there in and out, taking my dad back and forth to the hospital. And this one time, I was there and we called 911 and my dad said, Bill, I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to die in the hospital. I thought we could still save him. They put him in the ambulance. I had the ambulance door and he's looking at me and he's got tears in his eyes. And he said, I don't want to go to the hospital, Bill. But I closed the door. No. The ambulance went off. I followed it to the hospital and he never got out. And it was something that I wish I had known better. When my mom passed a year ago, I knew better. I was just in my early 50s when my dad passed. So it was 19 years ago. How you doing, Dan?
Let's cheer it up a little bit here.
Yeah, let's pick this thing up. Let's throw it down one time.
But is there too much scoring, Bill? It's almost like baseball where there's too many home runs and there's too many three-pointers.
No, it's fine. It's what the rules are. And the scientists, and this was Mike D'Antoni, who saved basketball.
Would the game be better if we removed the three-point line?
No. I love the three-point line, and it was so fantastic. I remember one night we were playing, in the early days of the three-pointer, we started in 79, and rest in peace, Chris Ford, who just passed away, made the first three-pointer. And so we're playing in the Boston Garden, and I'm not really playing. I'm sitting on the bench cheering for Larry and Kevin and Chief and DJ and Danny, and Larry's having a monster game. And the Boston Garden is just rocking. It's against the Knicks, and Hubie Brown is coaching, and Patrick Ewing and Bernard King and all these guys, right? An excellent team, but certainly not the Boston Celtics with Larry Bird and Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale and DJ and Danny and the second string that we had. And the crowd is going crazy. Larry, MVP. I mean, the scoreboard is shaking, right? And Hubie, who was the coach of the Knicks at the time. Now, Hubie, as the broadcaster at 89, and really ever since he became the broadcaster, has been the model of decorum. Right? But when he was the coach, he was a firebrand over there, and he loved to yell at his own players. And when that didn't work, he started yelling at us, the other team. And so Larry's making three after three, and the ball rolls out of bounds right to Hubie Brown, who picks up the ball. And normally you just throw it back to the ref. And Larry comes running over there because he doesn't want the game to stop, right? And Hubie won't give Larry the ball, right? And Larry's like trying to grab it, and the ref comes over. What's going on here? And the crowd is just stunned and everything. And finally, Larry, does get a hold of the ball, but Hubie still won't give it up. The referee comes in, separates them, and Hubie looks at Larry and says, oh, yeah, Bird, yeah. You think you're so good making all these threes and firing this crowd up here and torching the Knicks here on a Friday night in the Boston Garden. You think you're so good, Bird, making all these threes? Let's see you bank one of those threes in. And Larry looked at like Al Pacino from Taxi Driver. I hope I got it. Al and Robert De Niro.
De Niro.
Which one was it?
Yeah, De Niro.
De Niro. Okay, It was Robert De Niro for Taxi. And Larry looks at Hubie like he's the taxi driver, right? He says, you're talking to me? And Larry who was already so on fire, he grabs the ball from the ref, throws it in, gets it right back, right in front of Hubie, like a foot from the sideline where the coaches stand, right? Looks at Hubie and banks in a three. And then he spends the rest of the game banking in every three. Every time he just glare over at Hubie. You're looking at me? You talking to me? Oh, my God.
Hello everyone, I spend a lot of time trying to get you guys nice videos, so please subscribe to this page and please subscribe to my second page. The link to my second page is in the description section. Thank you.